Hi Leo, my ascendant brothers and sisters. Welcome to your June 2025 Master Monthly. Can you believe it? With that said, this month it really peels back the curtain, right? Leo, this is about you getting to the heart of what the world sees and what you really feel. And really and truthfully, those two things may be slightly at odds this month. But the contrast is really where the gold is. And it kind of reminds me of, that I think they call it kintsugi, where it's like the Japanese practice of like they take a bowl or something that's been broken and they fill the cracks in with gold. And the result is just absolutely beautiful. You're being guided into a really deep self-inquiry here, and really it's a good time for you to release and maybe even create or start a process of energetic preparation. June is really about charging ahead. It's clearing up the space for the spotlight that is coming. Your season is up next, and this is really the emotional backstage work that you have to do that really makes the main act shine, if you like. And what I want to say to you, and this is really important to note as well, actually, is think about that as a whole and consider that while that's happening on a microcosmic level here, that same pattern of you really doing a lot of the prep work, the things that have to happen behind the scenes before you step out and show them that show these bitches that it's showtime, right? Like before that is able to happen. Yes, you're going to have that through this month because we're in Cancer season, the season before yours. And so the sun is technically in its own 12th house. But more importantly, Jupiter comes into the sign of Cancer this month, right? And this is a 12-month transit. Well, Cancer is the 12th house to you. Now, that being said, I am Raphael. This is Radiant Reality. Welcome, 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 one and all. If you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, if you should so choose, and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. And for those of you that and everybody asks, do I watch for my sun or my rising, right? And so the thing is, for these videos in particular, because it is Astro Tarot, you're going to have to watch both. And the reason for that is astrology tends to favor the sun sign, right? The rising sign. Sorry, astrology tends to favor the rising sign or the ascendant sign, whereas tarot tends to favor the sun sign, right? So if you want to get a really clear, cohesive picture, the honest answer to that question when you're fusing the two, it really is both. It's one of the reasons that my astrology readings are astro tarot readings and vice versa. Now, that being said, let's get into it. All right. On the first of the month, Venus is coming into a conjunction with Chiron. This is happening in your ninth house. And so there is an emotional truth serum to this transit for you guys in particular, because it's in the ninth house. So Venus meeting Chiron, it's bringing up old wounds around belief, around purpose, around the things that you've been conditioned to believe. Remember, Venus for you rules your oh, come on, brain. Your third house of communications, conversations, siblings, your local neighborhood, but Venus also rules your career house or your public reputation. Where these things have come under question or under fire, if there's one thing that Leo really energy really doesn't like, we don't like our heart or our integrity questioned because most of the time we really do come from that place. It may be something that you once believed in religiously, culturally, spiritually has lost its grip, or that you're noticing that past teachings around love and sex and money, femininity even, are really starting or you're starting to realize how they still impact you now. So I went to Catholic school, right? Oh my gosh, you want to talk about Catholic guilt? Whew, honey, like at this point, I'm relatively okay. I'm free from most of it, but trust me, okay? Like they get you. This stuff can feel really raw, and it might also be that you're reflecting on long distance connections or experiences with foreign cultures, different backgrounds that have left their mark in some way. What potentially hurts here is also when your higher wisdom is starting to form. And it's kind of like you're realizing, like, wow, you know what? I've actually outgrown this practice, this story, this part of my heritage. Remember, the ninth house is also grandparents as well. So this could be a factor for you as well. Now, on the 6th of the month, Venus is going to come into the sign of Taurus, into your 10th house. Venus is strong here. Venus is strong in Taurus. This is her own sign. She knows this energy. The moon is going to be in the sign of Libra in your third house. So your communications and your career are getting a really nice boost, and you're potentially feeling quite passionate about these things. But then the moon is also going to be in a trine to Mercury, which will be in the sign of Gemini. There's a lot of Venusian energy in this sky at the moment, and this is highlighting your third house and your ninth. Venus will be in your 10th house, highlighting the career. But the moon trining Mercury on the same day is highlighting what you communicate with the groups that you are associated with, your familiar, your longer term, sort of broadest perspective ties, friendships. All of these things are going to be coming up for conversation and potentially even revelation. Venus stepping into Taurus is bringing a wave of charm and beauty and grace to your 10th house, potentially helping you earn more money or garner more respect in some way, which, we know that the Leo people like. This really begins a longer cycle where you're seen in a more magnetic or competent kind of light. And I'll be honest, the Leos have really struggled, right? The first sort of 4.5 months of this year were actually really tough on Leo. And I think the reason for this is because you're being prepared for what is probably going to be quite an interesting and bright second half of the year. Now, if you're aiming for promotion, for visibility, appreciation of your work, this is a powerful green light moment for that. Venus, remember, she only really spends, apart from the retrograde that she's just had, she only really spends sort of 4+ weeks in a sign in any given moment. Venus here is softening the dynamics of your connections to authority figures, especially if work has felt cold or disconnected, or maybe like you just haven't been seen or noticed in some way. It also is a really great time to beautify or elevate your perceived professional outlook or presentation. Meanwhile, that moon trine Mercury in across Libra and Gemini, this is lighting up the third house and the 11th house. It's creating lighter, friendlier, emotional undercurrents, especially around conversations with friends, peers, your wider community, your local community as well, neighbors if you've got them, siblings if you have them. A kind word, an unexpected compliment, or a sweet moment of understanding really brings or brightens up your days around this time. So, and it could also come through social media, could be text, it could be, it's brief, but it's meaningful, right? On the 8th of the month, Mercury is going to conjunct Jupiter. This is a big deal. It's right at the tail end of your 11th house. This is a blessed day for social networks, collaborations, long-term vision, long-term plans, things that you're building for someday in the future, things that you're building to really gain the sweetness of life. And remember, the 11th house is also the gains or the monetary benefits that you gain from your 10th house or from from your career. So this could be a boost to the finances. It could be an opportunity that shows up for you for some kind of financial blessing or benefit. Mercury for you rules your oh gosh, come on, brain. Mercury for you rules your second house of money, finances, and resources, and Mercury also rules your 11th house. So Mercury really is a money planet in your chart because Jupiter rules your fifth house and your eighth houses, which is also the eighth house is big money, other people's money, joint finances, and resources, and the fifth house is speculative endeavors. This is a play the lottery transit, right? Like, absolutely go and buy yourself a ticket, maybe put a speculative bet down, but don't be crazy because Jupiter's involved. You don't want to bet the farm. Because Jupiter rules that fifth and eighth house as well, there's also links to investments or creative or financial blessings in some way. A payout, a payoff, a return for past efforts might arrive for you at this moment in time. Maybe a conversation with a friend of some sort that plants the seeds for future success. So this could be really, really nice. And, it's fleeting, right? This is a once in 12-year transit. Mercury. On the 9th of the month, sorry, very dry today. On the 9th of the month, Mercury enters Cancer. Mercury comes into your 12th house, where it's going to make you more psychic. It's going to make you more porous. Mercury in the 12th house, especially with Cancerian energy, makes you more telepathic. You'll be able to really intuit what people's thoughts are, what people's feelings are. You're going to really be able to understand what people's motivations are, but also you're likely to be a bit more pensive, a bit more reflective at this time. Memories might start to really resurface and bubble up to the surface at this time. And also, because Mercury rules your second house and your 11th house, it could be that a past opportunity, or at least a communication or a conversation, an email, text message, phone call, comes in from somebody from your past that is, that is mercurial in some way. Your thoughts drift into memory and mystery and potentially towards the metaphysical. You may see a self-sabotaging tendency of some sort in a much clearer light, where you're really able to pick it apart in stellar fashion. And the image that I have in my mind while I'm talking about that is, I don't know if you've seen Watchmen, the big blue guy. Like, he's able to take something apart and like walk around it and look at all the component pieces and stuff. If you've been moving at a fast pace, this is going to slow you down just enough to catch what's been hiding in your subconscious or at the base of that subconscious. Mercury, as the ruler of those second and 11th, you'll find yourself reflecting on your income versus your purpose, or maybe your role within a group setting. It's a brilliant transit for dream work, for journaling, or even spiritual practices. You don't need to share everything right now, right? Let it simmer, let it cook, let it mature. Now, Mercury being the messenger of the gods is heralding Jupiter's arrival because it comes in first. On the 10th, Jupiter enters Cancer. Mercury is going to be there as well. So Mercury and Jupiter come into a conjunction in the 12th house. As if that wasn't enough, those Mercury and Jupiter are going to square Neptune and Saturn, who are newly both, well, I say newly, who are both now in the sign of Aries. This is 12th house, ninth house stuff, which means your deep-seated beliefs, your spiritual perspectives, ideologies, and understandings, your heritage from or via your grandparents, maybe even the history and the lineage of your family are coming to the fore, and maybe even some kind of karmic connection as well. Jupiter coming into the most private part of your chart, your 12th house. I love Jupiter in the 12th. Jupiter in the 12th is blessings from heaven, potentially pennies from heaven, but not a guarantee. It could be inheritances, things that people have left to you because Jupiter rules the 8th. It's coming into the 12th. It could also show up as Jupiter in the 12th is what I call true guardian angel energy. And the 12th house, remember, it's intangible, it's immaterial, it doesn't have, substance to it so much. So it's usually things, blessings, dreams, your bedroom, sleep, bed pleasures, etc., are all the 12th house. So Jupiter brings healing wherever it goes. And this could mean that the next 12 months, your rest, your sleep starts to be really deeply restorative. You start to get messages and prophetic visions. This is Jupiter, after all, the planet of vision and prophecy in the 12th house. Your dream work, your spiritual growth, your deep integration of personal lessons and history, the healing of your wounds. Jupiter rules the 8th house in your chart. And in a square to this Saturn and Neptune in the 9th house, the same day, it's like you're really feeling torn between what you believe and what you intuitively feel. And it's likely that there's a moment of disillusionment around your vision for the future, or maybe a struggle to make peace with a shift of a worldview that has had to happen for you. Don't force clarity here, right? If you have a moment where you do feel confused about, okay, well, my intuition says this and the reality is saying this, and I don't really know how the two show up or how they combine. And do you know what's really funny? Even though on the day that I'm filming this transit isn't taking place, but what's really crazy to me is I am having an exact experience of this right now. And it's so funny because it's like, on the one hand, my reality is saying one thing, and on the other, my intuition is screaming. And I'm like, at this point, it's not that I don't trust reality, but the world is on fire after all, um, always. But what really strikes me is the reason, not even the reason, it's like my faith is truly stronger in my intuition. Not because I feel like I'm oh so psychic, but because I've built my entire life and my entire business on my intuition. And up until now, it's yet to fail me, right? And if you've been with me long enough, you know I have this debate all the time. I genuinely believe that our intuition, our psychic ability, our ability to read charts and cards and all the rest of it, that is a gift from God. Whatever you perceive that ultimate awe-inspiring, being to be, I believe that those are gifts. There are, you've either got those skills or you don't. You can train them, but that's another thing. Make sure you check out the card blending workshop. That being said, moving forward, give yourself permission to sit in the unknown for a bit. You're unlearning before you upgrade. And that carries on right the way through the 11th as well. And it's going to continue. The square to Jupiter perfects on the 11th. And Jupiter is wanting to bring healing and expansion to your inner, subconscious, spiritual, immaterial self. Saturn in the ninth is asking for structure and consistency, and really kind of saying to you, if you want this, your deeper commitment to long-term growth is going to have to show blood, sweat, and tears. Neptune is adding a fog to this, and it makes it hard to kind of tell the truth from the illusion. Questions about your faith, about your beliefs, about your higher learning, and maybe even wounds or challenges around higher learning. Gosh, anyone that knows me knows part of my story. I have like, people often say to me, like, oh, would you go back and do a degree program at this point? And I'm like, the fuck I would. Never again. Like the amount of trauma and stuff that I have attached to that, no way. No, just no, never. If you ever see me saying I'm going to university to take a degree, something's real badly wrong, and you should probably phone the police. Um, by drifting too far from what I used to know. This is a course correction of some sort on a really spiritual, soul aligned level. On the 17th of the month, Mars is going to come into the sign of Virgo. Mars comes into your second house. It's bringing energy, passion, excitation, irritation, frustration potentially. It's speeding things up as well. And it's asking you, are your habits aligned with your values? And are those things leading you to more prosperity or wealth for yourself? The transit begins, or brings, should I say, the motivation to refine your earning potential and also to spend more consciously. This is Mars in the sign of Virgo. Mars in Virgo does really well. Mars in Virgo is like a good little soldier that will do what needs to be done. And it's also a really good time for you to take action on health goals that impact your energy and your output. Since Mars for you rules that ninth house, and co-rules your fourth house. You might be investing in your home, your education, or an upcoming trip. You may be thinking about what it's going to cost you in the long run or in the long term to, get financially secure around the home or with something for the long-term future. Your as well, Mars here can cause tension around scarcity thinking or financial insecurity. And the antidote to this really is going to probably be structure. Now, on the 21st of the month, the sun enters Cancer. This is the summer solstice in the northern, the winter solstice in the southern. It marks a turning point and a 3-month pivot point. And with this, the sun is in your 12th house. This is a focus, attention on retreat, release, rest. And I will say this year, I'm actually going to, for the first time ever, I'm going to heed my own advice, and I'm actually going to not take the whole month off, but I'm going to rest more. Like usually, I'm actually very busy throughout the month of June, and this year I kind of said to myself, honor the 12th house sun, right? Just take time. You're closing out your personal year at this time, Leo. Now is the time to pause and to listen, right? The light might be low, but it's no less important. Take the space if you need it, take the time. Solitude can absolutely be the soil for breakthroughs, especially with everything that you've been processing just up till this point for this first half of the month, with all of the transits that have taken place up until this point. It might be wise for you to take a moment to say, okay, oh, right, like that. It's been a lot, right? Take a moment, look out for the signs, the symbols, the quiet messages, the whispers in your ear, the intuitive faculties and hits. This is the sun. This is you in the 12th house, seeking retreat, seeking solitude, seeking solace. And it's important that you do these things so that you're refreshed and renewed when your season comes. This process that's been happening just in this first half of the month is it's a kind of a herald of the larger cycle that's unfolding as Jupiter's moving through the 12th house. On the 22nd of the month, Mercury is going to trine the North Node in Saturn in your eighth house. Sorry, trine the North Node in your eighth house. Saturn's already left there at this point. And it's going to sextile the South Node in your second house. This is a fated conversation, fated the North and South nodes, fated, karmic, destined, if you want to call it that. Mercury, communication, conversation, or interaction of some sort around money, around finances, around resources, around the money that you have, the money that you need, the money that you spend, the resources that are joint to other people, how you bring in money, how you make money. And the reason I say that this really is going to be focused on resources for you guys is because Mercury is the money planet in your chart. It rules your second and your 11th houses, and the nodes themselves are in your money houses, right? So, in a lot of ways, this transit is really going to be talking about the money, thinking about the money, reorganizing, restructuring the money, deciding what you're going to go for, deciding what you're going to let go, what you're no longer willing to pay for, what's not important, what is worth it, what is valuable, what's not. On the 23rd of the month, Mercury is going to come into a square with Chiron. Now, this is again across because Mercury's still in Cancer at this point, and it's going to square um, Chiron, which is in Aries in your ninth house. Again, this is a stirring up of your spiritual beliefs, your world perspective, your view on what the future actually looks like, whether that's for yourself or for somebody else. If you have a feeling of something being slightly dystopian, this could also really be highlighted at the time. And I will say, watch out for knee-jerk reactions or conversations that push you over the edge. You might feel like you're losing your faith at this time or questioning a vision that you once held onto, and whether that still applies. But rather than forcing the clarity or ignoring the emotions, this is a moment for you to grieve the old truths that really no longer fit with you. You're not lost, you're just evolving at this time. And this is a powerful day for journaling, for therapy, for honest reflection. On the 24th of the month, Jupiter goes cazimi. This is the sun and Jupiter. So this is you, the sun, right? The ruler of Leo, coming into a conjunction with Jupiter in the sign of Cancer, where Jupiter is exalted. This is one of the luckiest days of the year for all of us, but it's one of the luckiest days of the year for you, especially because the sun is you and for you. Now, this is happening in a spiritual, sacred, immaterial, ethereal space in the chart. And if you've been with me long enough, you will have heard me say this. The 12th house is the house in the chart that houses the door through which we access our connection to the cosmos, right? And so at this time, this is a blessing from the unseen realm. And Jupiter can represent benefactors, helpful people, support networks or groups or people. This could be blessings or deeds that come back to you in some kind of spiritual or karmic way. They could come in a very material or tangible way, in a way that you really don't expect. You might feel divinely guided at the time, divinely protected at the time, or maybe illuminated in some way. This is a really beautiful day for magic and prayer and ritual and rest, or asking for a sign. If you've been navigating any form of grief, loss, healing, this is a really powerful moment of clarity and grace. And I would take it as such. A guardian, a mentor, a spiritual force could show up for you in a way that is deeply affirming at this time. On the 25th of the month, Mercury is going to sextile Uranus. So, Mercury in the 12th, sextile to Uranus in Taurus, in the sign of Taurus in your 10th house. This is sudden insights or communications, potentially sudden opportunities that show up in your career or through your career. It might shift your perspective around your public image or how people see you. This could be a moment that sort of sends, and it might be something because it's Mercury in the 12th. This might be something that you put out ages ago. Like if you do what I do, content creation, etc. Something that you put out years ago may suddenly just go viral, right? And people are messaging you and, oh, have you seen this? And you're like, I made that like 3 years ago. What are you talking about? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, to you, it might be like, oh, you may realize what you really want, and it might not be anything close to what you thought it was. Gosh, Heather from Astrology with Heather just recently, we've been talking a lot behind the scenes, and she's I remember her saying to me not too long ago as well. She said, with the stuff that's coming up and the transit, she said you might think that you're going in one way, but it's actually going in a different way. And wow, some of the ideas that I've had, and that just you're gonna see it anyway, because I'll be releasing a lot of stuff soon, and I will continue to do so. But like, you might just be like, wow, like where has all of this come from, Raf? And Uranus in the 10th, right? It's bringing disruption, but this one feels exciting. It's a really great day for to pivot quietly, adjust your plan behind the scenes, and start laying the foundations for something new. Well, you know what I'll be doing. All right. On the 26th, the Sun is going to sextile Mars. This is the Sun in the second house, sextiling Mars in the second. It's an excellent day to align your energy with your values, your spirituality with your material possessions, and vice versa. And also to start thinking about how you can utilize your spiritual energy to enhance your prosperity. You might receive a push to finally do something that you've been kind of, umming and ahhing about for a long time, restructuring your budget, setting new work boundaries, maybe even choosing rest over extension or over exertion or extension. It's a reset point in a sense, I think. And Mars and the Sun here are really asking you to ask yourself, does your energy match your priorities, right? Like, what are you prioritizing your tasks, or are you spinning your wheels? On the 27th of the month, Mercury enters your sign. You are speaking your mind. Your voice comes very much to the fore. And after weeks of internal reflection and deep sort of rest and recuperation and reconfiguration of your inner world, now all of those things that you've been thinking, all of those realizations that you had, they suddenly all want to get out of your mouth at once. Mercury bursts into your sign, bringing clarity, expression. Mercury in Leo is fun and communicative and outspoken and bold, and declares things very boldly. Your words carry more weight now, and you might feel more inclined to share sort of more of your story, or maybe even step more into visibility. It's also worth noting that obviously Mercury is going to go retrograde soon, so watch out for that, because whatever's said now may need revision later. But speak anyway, right? It's time for you to be heard. On the 29th, Mercury in your sign is going to oppose Pluto in your seventh house in the sign of Aquarius. This is a power dynamic in a relationship that potentially reaches ahead. This is personal, professional, platonic, romantic, business, or familial. All of these relationships may, not all of them at the same time, maybe just one of them, maybe a couple of them, maybe one from all of these areas of your life. The opposition is bringing intensity, projection, and a need for transparency. So if someone comes at you head on, because that's what an opposition is, right? You have to meet it head on. It's an issue that you can't skirt around or get past. You just have to deal with it there and then. Um, you might realize that someone's been exerting like a subtle kind of control in the background, or they've been, basically there's been some kind of manipulation going on. And if that is the case, um, you might, or maybe that you've been holding back out of some kind of deep-rooted fear, because Pluto is terror, right? So are you afraid of relationships? Maybe somebody calls you out on that. Maybe someone says to you, you're always here for the good time, and you're fun and all the rest of it, but when it comes close to, when it comes close to wanting to love you or to hold you or to pin you down, let me love you down. Sorry, I don't even know where that came from. But right, like you see that, like that deflection, maybe someone comes to you and says, look, you know what? I've actually been trying to date you quite seriously forever, but you keep keeping me at arm's length. That's possible if you're single, by the way. Speak your truth, but stay anchored when it comes to relationships. And Pluto energy is not subtle, but it is clarifying. And Mercury in your sign, it's giving you the wherewithal and the speed to really, I mean, not that you need any, right? You've got Libra in the third house. So just something to think about. And then finally, on the 30th of the month, Venus begins her conjunction to Uranus in your 10th house. It's not exact until next month, but it starts now, and you're going to feel this coming in. Surprises in the career and the public image or sector are starting to shape up. It's a wild card energy. Expect the unexpected, I'm sorry to say, especially in love, in communication, when it comes to your career, absolutely. Change in leadership, out of nowhere opportunities, sudden shifts in what you value in work, or what people sort of tell you that they want more of from you. If you've been craving freedom in your professional life, this could actually be the start of that. Bold moves, breakthrough potential. Now, I'm not going to be adding the moons and the lunations to these because, as you can see, these are already quite long videos. People are clicking off too early. It's making the algorithm, and I've already blown up my channel, so it is what it is. But if you haven't yet, there's a link in the description box below. Check out the card blending workshop. It's on the 7th and the 8th of June. It's 2 days you're going to spend with me and a bunch of awesome people. And I'm going to show you how to blend the meanings of the cards, how to bring them together so that you can read in those cohesive sort of sentences and paragraphs and all the rest of it that I do. Now, it's not a webinar, it is a workshop. I'm going to get you involved. I'm going to give you examples. You're going to work on things. You're going to work separately together. You're going to work with me. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you want to get £25 off of that, the first 20 get £25 off, or the offer for that will end on the 31st of May. So there's a link in the description box below that will give you way more information on that. Check it out, and it would be lovely to have you. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Hi, Leo, my ascendant brothers and sisters. Welcome to your June. Can you believe it is June already? The tarot section of your June Master Monthly. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So I'm going to give these a shuffle. And we're going to get stuck straight in on this June 2025 reading. So for this, you have the Magician card. Okay, so when the power lies firmly in your hands to shape and create life in whichever way you choose and desire, what do you do with it? In all of these different areas of life that we're about to explore, that's the message. If you had a magic wand, if you had ultimate power, which over your own life you absolutely do, what would you do with it? And more importantly, what are you going to speak into existence when it comes to your own life over the course of this month? The other thing that I finally want to remind you is, remember with the Magician card, this is about having or coming into a greater sense of personal power, right? So in all of these different areas of life, it really is about what and how you command life to do what you would like it to do or to be. For your actions and options, you've got the Page of Pentacles. For a lot of you, I would not be surprised if this month you choose to embark on some course of study. Maybe you rededicate yourself to your learning in some way, shape or form. I also wouldn't be surprised with this card as well if you get really like really interested in building something that is like a side hustle or a side project. Now, it doesn't have to be something that you monetize. It really doesn't. This may be something that you just want to study for the sake of wanting to be really good at it. But what I will say to you is, for those of you that are going down this route of learning, studying some kind of apprenticeship or whatever the case might be, you're doing this in stellar fashion, and it's like you're taking the first steps this month towards what I would consider your personal mastery. So I would say whatever choice or just like direction you go in, don't take it lightly, because this will be something that you end up dedicating a lot of time and effort to. Now, that being said, if you haven't got your seat yet, my card blending workshop is coming. It's on the 7th and the 8th of June. So obviously in the month of June, the 7th and 8th, it's the whole weekend with 4 hours-ish per day. And I have got tons for you. So I do want to say it's really not for total beginners. So for this class, you're going to need to have a basic understanding of what each card means, and the structure of the deck. If you don't have that, then this is probably not really, it's going to be probably over your head. But if you have that knowledge and more, if you're intermediate, if you're advanced or professional, this is a course that you are absolutely going to love. You will get the recording, but it's not a webinar. This is a workshop. I want it to be interactive. I've got lots of really fun stuff for you guys to look at, to do, to explore. We're going to have so much fun really delving into it in so many different ways. So what I'm going to teach you over the course of this weekend is how to blend the card meanings, right? So a lot of you have expressed that that's one of the things that really stumps you, or you ask me like, oh, how are you getting that meaning from these cards? I'm going to show you, right? And I'm going to give you practical hands-on experiences and ways to understand this for yourself. So stay tuned, because it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a link in the description box that's going to go into a lot more detail than I can here. And for the first 20, you get £25 off of the weekend. If not, then that discount expires on the 31st of May. All right, so for your, in terms of the options that are available to you, well, the Page of Pentacles, it really gives you, you know, certainly in terms of the options that are available to you, there's a chance for you to embark on a quest of mastery, right? And also, I wouldn't be surprised if some of you are invited by a powerful person to speak or to participate in something that is what you would consider something bigger than you, right? Now, for your communications and conversations, you've got the Standing Stone. So this is the this is the Justice card in this deck. It's absolutely beautiful. I love this deck. It's one of my faves. I mean, they're all my favorites, to be fair. But anyway, you are committed to being the best that you can be when it comes to your studies, when it comes to your work, when it comes to the profession and the career. A lot of you, whatever this new learning or this journey is that you step on this month, I'm really excited to see where this goes. I will say it probably is going to be something that takes you around 2 years to really move in a specific direction with. So it's not for the faint of heart, but it does feel like something that you will absolutely love and enjoy the progress of. So it'll be interesting to see sort of how it shapes up. Now, that being said, the other thing that I want to sort of make you aware of, let's say, is the Justice card is about commitment. And in here in the communications with the Magician, you're getting a serious deep dive into what is going to really bring the best out in you and how you can commit to creating that version of yourself. If you're studying or in some form of academia, for some of you, this is the signing of the contract to start that work. For some of you, this is the contract of starting a new job where you're in a position of power of some sort. For others, this could be certainly for those of you that are studying, this is the new studies coming in. If you're just finishing one round of studies, it looks like some of you are going on to do a master's, maybe even a PhD. If you are, when it comes to your, those of you that are employed by somebody else, this looks like a little bit of a battle that's shaping up, right? So maybe you announce to your boss, you know, I'm handing in my notice, and then your boss comes back and says, look, what have they offered you? Because I'm going to offer you, you know, that plus 25% for you to stay. This is, you know, the place that you work at is committed to keeping you. It just, for some of you, I feel like it may be a little too little too late, but we'll see. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this is a contract with a powerful person or a power player who really sees a lot of potential in you, and also potentially who you see a lot of potential in. It's like you can see how this will be mutually beneficial in some way, and what you start to build is a really powerful dynamic force forward. So I love this for you. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, this is you being really serious about how you use your time, effort, and energy. And it's like something that maybe you've had a lot of conversations on up till this point. It's like you finally reach a place where you're like, you know what? I'm not going to repeat myself anymore. I've said what I need to say. It's time to move on. For your love and relations, you've got the Sun card. If you are partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, your significant other has got some fantastic news for you. It could be that while your own career is starting to make real leaps and bounds forward, that your significant other's partnership, work, profession, etc. is really coming good. It could also be that they bring new opportunities or new reasons for happiness and abundance into your life. I love this. It's the Sun. What else is there to say? Your relationship is bringing you happiness. For those of you that are single and looking, I mean, the Sun with the Magician, this could be somebody that you connect with who maybe is very young, but maybe they are like super advanced, or maybe really like, they could be very youthful, but they could also be very successful. It could also be that maybe this is somebody who is like a literal ray of sunshine in your life. So you meet somebody and you're like, oh my gosh, this is my person. Right now, I will say a lot of us Leo rising people are still currently a little bit of a work in progress. So don't get into your head and into your ego about like, oh, but I'm not ready yet, right? The universe is not always about when we're ready. And then finally, for your money and materials, you've got the Six of Wands. Look at this, right? That is money, finances, and resources coming good. The Six of Wands is not just about victory and success. The Six of Wands is an attainment card. Six of Wands with the Sun card, you're winning a contract, you're winning money, you're winning resources. Definitely a month to play the lottery. But this is good money or resources that come from or through your efforts. Now, for a lot of you, I will say that the effort has already been put in. So it's like this is really a month for you to collect your rewards as opposed to work harder for them, if that makes sense. Love this for you, right? And this with the Magician card, your knowledge, your wisdom, your expertise, your smarts, your intelligence, the things that you already have are what are bringing this this money to you. Great, love it. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I want you to be a little bit extra careful with your mid back this month. So like the thoracic area. Again, not doctor, can't give you medical advice. I will also say please watch out for ankles as well, like if you're rushing around this month. And then when it comes to your home and environment, this is really good news that comes in that sees you sort of being able to make a decision where you're able to say, okay, you know what, I can finally move ahead with something. So especially if you've been waiting for paperwork, documents, etc., this is especially relevant for me right now. And I'm loving to hear this and to see this, because I've been waiting to have the structural report done on my house so that I can start making renovations. So to hear this is actually music to my ears, right? That's how this is showing up for me. Now, for those of you that are would like a personal reading with me, you can grab that. There's a link in the description box below. Remember, they are longer, they are deeper. That's the video or the live session. It's completely up to you what you book. We've had lots of great feedback from the new format, etc. so far. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.